Right, hello party people. It is me, Rebecca, the host of this Vlogtober, because I wouldn't be doing a Vlogtober about anybody else's life because that would be really creepy and I would probably end up with a restraining order, which is unfortunate because there's probably a lot of people more interesting than me, but sorry, this is what you get. Today I'm going to talk about my knitting, my life. I'm wearing my texture time and things are going to get weird. I don't have notes or anything, but that's what happens here. It just gets weird. I don't know. I usually upload these with quite a few regrets. My face is really itchy today. Okay, so I had posted on YouTube that I almost died yesterday, and I didn't actually almost die. Like, I thought it was more of a joke because I had the little cry laugh emojis next to it, but that was just a note for me to remember to talk about it, which is weird because I could have just made a note on my phone, but you know, if you do things publicly, then everybody's gonna expect the explanation, and I didn't want to forget. Not that I would forget. So yesterday, what happened? My kids had no school, and that was fine. My daughter, who is younger, woke up and she had breakfast, and then I was knitting on my Mr. Knit Along, and she came up and started talking to me. Which is fine, right? I think she started with Minecraft, and you know how that is. If you're a parent, you know how this is, right? Like, it's so bad. But you want to be attentive and you want to be like supportive, and you don't want to just be like, I don't care, go away, right? So I'm trying to be nice. And then she started talking to me more about every thought she had, every single one. And I cannot over express how much talking she was doing to me. She talked to me for about 4.5 hours straight, but in that like Minecraft story voice. And every time she changed topics, she would be like, oh, and mom. Oh, and mom also. Oh, and mom also, I forgot to tell you that I was in school yesterday, and my friend Emily, my friend Emily and I, we were at school. Guys, I sat there for like 4.5 hours, easy. And I was just like trying to think about the fact that she's not gonna be little forever. She wants to talk to me, and that's important. And I wanna hear what she has to say. But my frustration level was like growing exponentially, like every minute. Now, I know if you don't have kids, you probably can't relate to this at all, but if you do, man, you know. But for hours and hours and hours of her talking to me in that voice, like that, the 2 words at a time, constantly repeating, and I was trying to be engaged, which meant I didn't get a lot of knitting done yesterday because when I tried to knit while listening to her talk, I kept making mistakes. And if it's possible to die from listening to your child tell you Minecraft stories, I should have been dead yesterday 3 times over. I was like, I had to take my son to go to a bowling thing with his friend, and so I had to take everybody, got him in the car. I was really happy because I'm like, finally the conversation has now ended. She talked the entire way there. She talked the entire way back. And when we got home, I was like, go play in your room, both of you, because I bought you toys for Christmas, just go up there. And of course they were all sad about that. But honestly, I was done, man. I was so tired of hearing words come out of somebody's face that I sent them upstairs and I sat down here and I knit in silence. Normally I would turn on a podcast, but I didn't want to hear any more words. I had reached my quota of words. I didn't want to hear anyone talk ever again. And so this is so mean. It sounds so mean, but you guys have to understand, I'm not even being dramatic. I literally almost cried. As soon as they went away, I almost cried because of the stress level in my body, like the amount of, what is that? Not oxytocin, but like the opposite of that, had just built up so much, and I just wanted to bawl my eyes out because I couldn't take it any longer. It was Chinese water torture if water was words, and it's okay. It made her happy, but wow. And I know that I shouldn't complain about that. I know, but I am, okay? I am, I know, but She actually, I don't get to talk to her very much anymore because she goes to school, and she actually has selective mutism, and so she doesn't talk outside of the house. She doesn't have anybody to talk to. She goes to school and she doesn't talk to anybody. You know, I'm the person that she has to talk to, so I get the brunt of all of her words, which is fine. I mean, there was a time that we thought that she would never really speak, and so just try to be aware of that and let her go at it. But guys, the Lord was testing me yesterday. I am not built for that kind of stuff. Wow. Anyway, luckily she is my last child. I have no more coming up after that, so this is the last time that we have to go through that phase. And I'm really happy about that. I don't like children. I don't like babies. I don't like little kids. I don't like them at all. I like adults, and that's why I had so many kids, because kids spend most of their lives as adults, and I want to hang out with those people. Unfortunately, you have to go through the effort of taking care of them when they're younger. Oh my God. I'm not sick. I know I always sound sick. It's because I have a deviated septum, so my nose is always like blocked. Anyway, wow. What a way to start the vlog. But that's what happened yesterday, okay? And it was all awful. It was all awful. Every single one of my nerves was just like completely frayed. And it got better. My daughter got home from work and I was able to listen to her talk a little bit. And then my boyfriend got home from work and I was able to listen to him talk a little bit. And, but I just went to bed. I just went to bed. Like, no more talking, please. Please, for the love of God. And you know, I have like 5 kids, and people always really assume that my house is really loud. It is not. It's not a loud place. We don't do loud here. We don't, I don't allow my kids to scream. I don't allow them to yell. I don't allow that kind of behavior. And so we're just quiet people. Funny story about your kids screaming. My kids used to scream a lot. They did when they were littler. And one time we were at a hotel and my daughter started screaming. And I said to her, "It's just a bug," because that's how she screamed when she saw a bug, right? And I'm like, "It's just a bug, don't worry about it." And she was screaming because my son had fallen out of a 2nd-story window. He is fine, but that was the day that we stopped the screaming. Like, no loud noises unless somebody is actually hurt, because when you scream all the time, there's no way to tell if you're being murdered, your brother fell out the window, or if you're just scared of a bug, or if you're just playing. So I don't allow my kids to do that. We have a really quiet house. The neighbor kids, on the other hand, they go outside and scream all day long. And it stresses me out so much, because I'm always like, are they hurt? Are they being kidnapped? Are they actively being murdered? Did somebody break their arm? I have no idea. It's not my job to go watch them. I'm not watching them. I'm not a babysitter. But it's a very stressful sound to hear all day long. We have really thin windows, and I can hear the screaming of the children like they're being slaughtered all day, every day in the summertime. Love that. But no, my kids aren't allowed to scream. If they scream like that outside, they have to come inside. I know. We're not doing that. So no, the point of that was that my house is really quiet. One time I accidentally butt dialed a friend. I was at Costco, and she says to me later, like, "Oh yeah, well, now I know what your house sounds like." Girl, my house does not sound like Costco. I would move out before I let my house sound like Costco. God, so loud, I couldn't deal. Where was that going? I don't remember. Anyway, moving on. Knitting. That was my life yesterday. Knitting. My daughter's boyfriend came over. That's it. That's all that happened. My life is really boring. God, I was looking at my calendar for what's coming up next in October, and I wanted to cry because dentist appointments and doctor appointments that had to be made, and different appointments. I have to go to an appointment on Thursday. Like, oh, this is Stephen Walsh missing in a long time. I'm wearing my texture time, and I'm gonna have to show you really carefully because I am wearing a crop top today. You guys, I love this shawl. And I just finished weaving in the ends the other day. It took me 2 hours on Barbara's Zoom meeting. But I love this thing so much. You know what would make me love it more though? Is if I had gone with the blue and orange palette that I was going to do. I think I added these little bits in. Was they supposed to be like that, or did I just do that for fun? I feel like I just did that for fun. I'm not even sure because it doesn't match. I was so bored. I hated knitting every stitch of this, especially this part. When I got here and the pattern was called Kitty Paws. Oh, maybe it was this one that was called Kitty Paws. Awful. Awful. I don't like knitting the same thing over and over again. I don't want to knit it twice. I didn't even realize that the stripes aren't even... I must have just made that up. I don't know, but I was bored. It was horrible. I love this part though. This one took me 18 tries to cast on, and I cried a lot actually, because it's syncopated brioche and I didn't realize it was syncopated brioche. I thought it was regular brioche and it wasn't working and I couldn't get it to work and I was crying and it was awful. This is also the one that my daughter was 2 years old when I knit it, and she cut up all of the mohair and I had to stitch it all back up. Like just randomly, like basically wool felt it together because there were so many holes in it. I already talked about this on my podcast before, but like you can't really tell, thank goodness. But she would like cut it up. Anyway, I put this on because I am cold and because I'm wearing a crop top and because I wanted to, okay? I wanted to. It was cold way out to the bus stop today. I didn't wear this, but I wanted to. Thankfully, I didn't. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Okay, what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh. Okay, so yesterday I was kind of looking at the views that I was getting on my Vlogmas, not because I cared, because I really don't, but I noticed that one of them got like 3 times as much as the rest of them, and I was like, oh my gosh. I wonder if somebody's making fun of me, like on Reddit or something, being like, check out this loser. Hopefully that's not the case, but I don't know, I guess. I mean, I'm just a person on the internet sharing what I love, right? And I don't make any money off of this. I'm not monetized. I don't have a business. I have no Etsy. I don't have a Venmo linked. I don't have the coffee tip jar. I'm just a person on the internet putting myself out there, sharing about things that I love. So if you found me from Reddit and people are being mean to me, I probably deserve it. It's fine. I'd make fun of me too, to be honest. It's okay. I support that. Okay, so can we talk about knitting? Yeah, I'll put a timestamp and I should do that. Okay, texture time. My favorite, no, that's not true. My favorite Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, building blocks. I hated knitting it. I hated the way the clues came out. I felt like it was super predictable and I was really miserable and I wanted the large size and I made it and I hated every single stitch. And the second it came off my needles, it was my favorite shawl ever. 100% my favorite shawl I have ever made. I would never make it again. It was miserable, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy wearing it. And it's really long. Like it's got these really super long like ends. And so I just tie them up in a knot to make it more like, so it's not dangling on the ground. And so many people are like, oh, is it supposed to be that way? Yeah, it's supposed to be that way. I tied them. I tied them. It's my shawl. I tied them. It's supposed to be however I'm wearing it. Like the only way it wouldn't supposed to be that way is if like somebody else did it. I guess if somebody else came along and tied up my shawl, it wouldn't supposed to be that way, but it's mine. I made it. It can be however I want. Don't let other people be the boss of your knitting, man. You're the boss of your knitting and you're the boss of your style. So if you have any, I don't. I wouldn't know about that, but okay. Okay, so Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. Is there anybody out there who is like super into this and wants to knit it and hasn't got a chance to start and has not seen any spoilers? If you were that person and you're watching, now is probably the time to start thinking about looking away, turning this off or something. I can't imagine. I mean, the next clue comes out the day after tomorrow. We are running out of time, so I'll get going. My daughter has been knitting for like 2 years, maybe. She has knit so many amazing things. She just started, man. She just started. Her first color work project ever is the Unbearable hoodie. You know, the one with the bears and the hats and the whole hoodie thing? That was her first ever color work project. She's only ever made cool things. I knit, the first 10 years of me knitting, I knit garter stitch scarves and I finished like a hat once. But I knit all the time. I just didn't knit anything good. It wasn't actually until I started like podcasting that I actually started making decent stuff. And even then it was a little sketch. Now she makes cool stuff. So anyway, she has a full-time job. She has 2 jobs actually. So she works about 9 to 10 hours a day. Her second job is just really part-time. And she's like almost done. She's like almost done. And then she's like, oh, you guys aren't even gonna believe this. If you've been knitting on this, you're not gonna believe this. She says, she comes home, she's got like so much done. And I'm like, when did you have time for that? And she goes, oh yeah, I knit on my lunch break. I got like 6 rows done. It takes me like 2 hours to do 6 rows. This thing is so fiddly and so long and so involved and so much. Who's out here doing 6 rows in half an hour? Raise your hand. No one. No one is. And there are some people out there in the world that I genuinely believe have more hours in the day than all of the rest of us. My sister-in-law works a full-time job. She works from home, but she works a full-time job, and every year she will knit 2 of these mystery knit-along shawls at the same time. And also she gardens, and also she has a toddler, and also she makes dinner, and also she does all of these other things, and she makes 2 how? Or do I just have less than everybody else? Do I have less than 24 hours? Because it seems like I only sleep like 6 hours a night. Okay, how come I can't get this stuff done? My friend Shauna, hey Shauna, what's up? She's finished and she has a full-time job and she can't even knit at work. I have like 0 responsibilities. None. I make dinner most of the time. I get my kids to school. They're pretty self-sufficient. I get them home from the bus stop. I make sure they have clean clothes. It's not that much. I don't have a lot going on. I don't understand why I can't get any knitting done. And I'm a fast knitter. Okay? I'm not even slow. Really fast. I went to a knit group once and I was just sitting there knitting on a boxy, so I'm just going around and around and around. And somebody said to me, oh my gosh, you're such a fast knitter. And I didn't think I was, because obviously my hair is like cobwebs and it gets in my face and itches. I didn't think I was a fast knitter, but I kind of started watching me knit and other people knit, and I was knitting about 5 times faster than everybody there, like 5 stitches for every one of their ones. So I am really fast. Not the fastest, but I'm really fast. Why can't I get this done? Do I just have like 12 hours and everybody else gets 24 or 48? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not mad. So this is my color pop. You all have seen this before. And so I'm working on this. I'm on row like 92, okay? I'm on contrast color 12. I think I just finished contrast color 12. So here we go, here it is. Look away, I guess. Don't look away. All right, if you haven't seen it yet or started, I guess whatever, live your life, man. Here we go. We're doing army green and black. I'm very, very, very excited about the way that this is coming out. Look how good this looks, guys. Okay. This is getting huge. Okay, how do you guys think this is gonna go? Like, because you can never tell with Stephen West, but I don't know, but I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, hey, yeah, I am doing the backwards loop because I don't like turning so much, and then turning and turns, twists and turns. Are we turning the entire time? Is that gonna happen to us? Is this not the only row or the only section? Are we gonna be constantly doing the same thing as far as the technique going all throughout the... I'm sorry, I just almost started crying. What if these like move around and like we start having to like cable these together? Like, cause we just make so many more and then they like come together and like twist around and cable. It's a really good thing that Stephen West does not make you pay per clue. Okay, because he gets money all the way up front, and then it doesn't really matter if you finish or not. That sounds really traumatic. But to be fair, okay, let's talk about reality. He also said that your contrast clue is going to have its own moment. So maybe that will be not how it goes. I ordered another one of these last week. It's coming in the mail today. This is Dream in Color. It's in the Scorched Lime colorway. Also, sorry for just yelling. I hope you weren't wearing earbuds. I found a project page that has the stitch counts for the chevrons at different points, and then the ends. I linked that in my Instagram stories. If you don't have Instagram, let me know. I will try to find the link, or I'll try to post the link, give it to you again. So there. It's on my Instagram stories still, but if you can't find it, message me. The stitch counts, somebody took the time to type it all out, and it saved my life yesterday. And then also the spreadsheet that helps you keep track of everything. If you don't know where that is, message me and I will help you find that. It's not mine, I didn't do it. So, and then the other thing I wanted to say, because I haven't said it in this vlog yet at all, I kind of did a little bit ago, is that I'm not here for money. I am here for friends and sharing what I love. And so on that note, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that would be fantastic. I'm not trying to build my follower base. What I'm saying is, if you're like, hey, this chick is kind of weird and I'm also weird in all those same ways and I want to be friends, add me on Instagram and message me. I will be your knitting friend. I always DM people back because it's not a business. I'm here for friends. And so if you don't have somebody in your life that you want to knit with, or that you can talk to, I will knit with you. I will help you with your patterns. I will help you as much as I can with stuff. I will give you color advice that will be ill-advised completely. You're not going to want my color advice. But yeah, I'm really nice. I promise. I'm really friendly. I say weird things all the time, and that doesn't change in Instagram DMs. I'm going to say all kinds of weird stuff to you. But yeah, like, that's what I'm here for. Like, I want to be friends. I've made so many really good friends through this, and yeah. Does that sound lame and desperate? I don't mean it to sound lame and desperate. I just mean I know what it's like to knit and have hobbies and fun things that you want to do and not have anybody to talk to about them, or not, you know what I mean? Not have anybody to ask questions to. I mean, of course I have my sister, now I have my daughter, but it can be kind of, my sister lives far away from me, and it can be kind of lonely to sit and knit and not really have anybody. So I'm not lonely anymore. I'm fine. I am fine. I'm just saying. See, I told you this was gonna get weird. Add me on Instagram if you want to talk and be buddies, because I will be your knitting buddy. But if not, that's fine too, because I'm obviously fine. I don't know where to go from there. Okay. Well, I guess the only way to go from there is to end this. I hope that you guys took that the way that I meant it. Whatever. Anyway, either way, it was nice, right? It's not like I was being rude or mean. So yeah, I'm nice. Be my friend. Okay, bye.